Hi, Bhargava. Thanks
Hi,
for taking the call this afternoon. Uh,
welcome.
so, can we get started with the interview?
Yes, sure.
Yes. Could you please state your full legal name, location, and availability to start a new project?
My full legal name is Bhargava Putumbaka, as you can see in my resume, and I'm currently in Charlotte, North Carolina. And as my project finished 1 week back, so I'm readily available, so immediately available to join a new project.
Okay, excellent. And when did you do your Pega certification? What year was
Uh,
it? And
in
what was
July
this?
2016 on 7.1 version, in July,
Uh,
June and July, respectively.
you were certified as an architect or a developer? What were you certified as?
Senior System Architect. I did certifications on CSA and CWSA.
Okay, excellent. So, could you please briefly summarize your experience?
My current project is with Wells Fargo. I did for 1.5 years as a senior system architect, and then I worked on PayPal, which is as a senior, which is the same, which fits under senior system architect or system architect. And then I worked with the Mastercard as well as NJ Instance as a Pega developer, and then with ExxonMobil as a Java developer, and with Billsoft as a Java developer. So I have overall 7 years of IT experience, which includes 5 on Pega and 2.5 to 2 on Java.
Okay. Can you summarize your experience with the insurance domain and
Yes,
especially mention what kind of problems you solved and the different scenarios, systems you developed or debugged?
uh, it's the project is with the loan modification insurance. The persons who take the insurance need to repay that, so we used to create the layouts on the person's name, like to collect the data on the of the person. So we use the decision table or decision shape to check whether the person has given the repaid the loans in a specific amount of time. And I also use the integrations to connect to the external database to get the information about the person's grade, like grade score or grade report. So if he gets enough score, then we will get accept the grade loan or insurance. And if it doesn't fall under the category, then we may reject the insurance using the decision shape. And we use the CRM framework, which is the main framework which used in insurance domain. And I worked mostly for 8 months in insurance domain.
Okay. What was the most challenging problem you faced in this domain?
I used to create the out-of-box context using JavaScript. Like in Pega, everything is default, but there are few which requires the Java coding to do in the backend. So I used to there's few features like layouts, create smart grid layouts, and then freeform layouts. Then the dynamic layout, which is usually added in Pega 7.1, that one we created in Java using the 5.5 version. So that's the most challenging task we need to do in the instance domain. Now it's almost easy, like we get the dynamic layouts by default. So we don't need to create we don't need to create the using Java by now.
And what is the project that you worked on as an architect? Can you please explain that application and what approach you used to architect that application?
In the insurance domain, are you speaking about?
Generally, with your experience.
Uh,
We can begin with insurance
uh,
domain if you like.
Yes, like I said, the project begins with the to get the person's information who took the loans and who are about to repay the insurance. Who if there is any accident, so we used to get the if we need to approve the insurance, then we need to take the help of the credit score bureau, so that we use the integrators or connectors to take the person's information from external database, and I extensively use the SOAP services to do that and the insurance. Then I work with the Mastercard for dispute of charges, which is of domain smart dispute framework. We use the smart dispute framework to do this project, and then I work with PayPal. PayPal is I work with the user performance flow. Like it's mostly of the to send the notifications to the persons, uh, to send notifications to different managers. It's in a single form. It says routing. And then with Wells Fargo, I worked on the project or DPG project, which is an internal project of Wells Fargo. The project mainly deals with to create work objects or calculating the risk. Whenever there is change in policy, then we used to update the policies in the back end of the PEG by using the PEGA. And we used to take the approval from several departments like compliance, DPG leadership, and then finance department, which are the three departments in Wells Fargo.
Have you used any web services?
Yes, I worked on web services, SOAP and HTTP in Java.
Okay. And what is stateful and stateless SOAP service in PRPC?
Sorry, straight?
Stateful and stateless.
Straight. No. No
Have you
idea on
heard
the
of the
straight.
stateless SOAP service in PRPC?
Yes, I worked on SOAP service, but not on straight or not on topic which you were talking about.
Okay. And how about this inheritance of the rule sets? So if you have
Yes,
two rules, R1 and R2, and if R2 is a child of is a prerequisite of R1, so what's the restriction on calling the methods of the both classes?
we do have two inheritance, like director inheritance, pattern inheritance. Director inheritance is one we use when we need to inherit from the same parent class, or we do have inheritance like it is used to inherit from different class.
Okay. So is there anything that you want to highlight as part of your experience?
Like any external.
So you have built portals and other gadgets with PRPC, right?
Sorry.
You have built portals?
Gadgets.
Yes.
No, that's not in.
No, I mean, like, did you build any portals?
Portals.
Yes.
Yes. I worked on user portal.
Okay. And what development methodology did you guys use for your
It's
project?
Scrum.
Scrum.
I know a little bit of waterfall, Scrum, and a little bit of Agile in my few projects.
How about your Java expertise? How do you describe yourself as a?
As I worked way back on Java, so I have an idea on Java, but I have a good knowledge on SQL developing because it's a Java backend. We use the Microsoft SQL, and I have to have the Microsoft certification on SQL, which is 74 section on querying Microsoft SQL services on SQL 2012 or 14.
Okay. What typical issues? How do you architect for change so that it takes in change as and when it comes?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
With all this insurance domain and other domains,
Okay.
the business rules are always changing, right?
Yes.
So how do you architect for change?
Okay, so the one thing we used to get is the requirement from the business architects, business analysts. We used to get it in a PDF document. So what we need to approve or what we need to design in the Pega PRPC software. So like for example, they used to give me a flow diagram which we need to implement. In my recent project, that they used to give me a layout where I need to design the person's address and which stores the person's details, which has a lengthy information, which is of three layouts. So I need to design this. These are type of examples which I used to get from business architects.
So if the requirements change, then how flexible? How do you make the application flexible so that it takes in the new changes?
So are you going to say that if the application changes after development?
Yes.
Uh, Then, like we used to be, as I said, that we used to have the agile methodology, which is on the process. So first development, then the process goes to the QA team, and then if the QA team debugs any error, then we get to the development team. Then we used to check in the Java code where we made the mistake, and then with the help of my higher managers, we used to rectify this mistake, and the then the product goes to QA team, and then the process cycle repeats.
So what versions of Pega you have been working with?
Uh, I have recently worked with Pega 7.1 version, and
Okay.
I do have experience on Pega 6. Mostly, I do have experience on 7.
Okay. All right. So do you have anything else to add?
No,
How about your experience in India? How many years did you work in India?
I have worked for 1 year. It was Billowsoft, 1.5 year to be specific in Billowsoft. Like I did their campus placement with Billowsoft. I got through them, and I did on Java. Yeah, the first 4 months will be on Java training or something like that, which is of some.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot, Bhargav. It's a pleasure speaking with you.
Yep,
We
it's
will,
my pleasure.
forward your
Sorry?
resume. We will, contact you shortly with the next steps.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.